Welcome back, my fiendish friends. And here we are today. We're going to look at the film, The Wolfman. The Wolfman, how cool. Classic old film, classic old VHS tape. The MCA Universal line. Man, it doesn't get better or more cozier than this, does it?
Gives me warm fuzzies.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. 1941 film. The original horror classic that introduced one of the screen's most infamous monsters. Lon Chaney Jr. portrays Larry Talbot, who returns to his father's, played by Claude Rains, ancient castle in Wales, and meets a beautiful woman, Evelyn Ankers, in the nearby village. One fateful night, Talbot escorts her and her friend Jenny to a local carnival, where they meet a mysterious gypsy fortune teller. Soon, Jenny's fate is revealed when she is attacked by a vicious wolf. Talbot clubs the wolf to death with his silver-handled cane, but not before he is badly bitten and the curse of the werewolf is upon him. Foggy atmospheres, elaborate settings, and a chilling musical score enhance this haunting classic, co-starring the late great Bela Lugosi and Maria, what's that name right there? Maria
Ouspenskaya.
I think it's Maria Osmond, but I'm sure it's not her. It's a Maria. Directed by George Waggner.
I did not.
He directed Wolf Call, Man-Made, Frisco Sal, an episode of Bonanza.
Wow. What a career.
Bronco, 77 Sunset Strip, Fury River, Tales of Wells Fargo, and Cheyenne.
What a career. What a career.
77 Sunset Strip was a famous movie.
Movie stars Lon Chaney Jr., Claude Rains, William, and everybody knows Lon Chaney Jr. He was also in
Wolfman.
Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, Dracula versus Frankenstein. Quite a career, huh?
The
So he
female
played
bunch.
a lot of monsters, huh?
Oh man, lots of good classic films. And it also has Lon Chaney Jr. I mean,
Bela
it
Lugosi.
also has Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, he's another famous monster.
I mean, Bela Lugosi, known as he was in Dracula. He was Dracula, The Black Cat.
Island of Lost Souls, Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh, who can forget Plan 9 from Outer Space?
Isn't that what Jerry Seinfeld wanted to watch?
Probably.
The
But
Black
who doesn't
Snake.
want to watch Plan 9 from Outer Space?
I've never seen
That's
it.
the Ed Wood film. It's known as like the worst film ever made, like a big turkey.
Yeah, I think Seinfeld had a whole episode where that's what they wanted to do was go see that movie.
So some other little interesting facts about this film. The wolf that Larry Talbot, the Wolfman, fights with was Lon Chaney Jr.'s own German Shepherd.
Really?
Yeah.
That's neat.
So that way you know the dog wasn't hurt in the film, which of course makes you happy.
Yes, it was. No dogs were harmed.
Another thing, the Wolfman battled a bear in one scene, but unfortunately the bear ran away during filming. What few scenes were filmed were put into the theatrical trailer. Wow.
Interesting, because
Very
we didn't see a bear.
Another thing, Bela Lugosi actively campaigned for the lead role and ended up playing a minor supporting role. Oh, I gotta say, you know what? I mean, Lon Chaney Jr. hits it out of the park in this film. He is so convincing.
Look, I like those. I love those.
Well, just to show you that this movie never dies, it was nominated for the best DVD Blu-ray collection in 2005, 2013, 2015, and 2017 by the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films.
Gosh.
And it won in 2013, earning a Saturn Award.
People love this film. They love this film. This film's never going. It's going to be here for another 180 years.
It's a fun movie.
Fun movie.
It's it's not so scary that kids can't watch it. It's not gory.
Yeah. And look, a lot of the modern myths about werewolves come from this film. Being bit by a werewolf and turning into one. It came from this movie.
Yep.
Interesting.
Well, just off the top of my head, without having just looked this up at all, the Wolfman is the only Universal monster to be played by the same actor in all the 1940 film appearances.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing
interesting.
Bela didn't get that job.
Yes.
He might have been a fantastic one, but I think of Bela Lugosi more as a vampire.
And I think
And he played. He was a good gypsy.
And-
Lon Chaney Jr.'s makeup took 6 hours to apply. Gosh, sitting there for 6 hours, putting each one of those little hairs in, probably. You know.
Yeah, and he complained that sometimes while he was sitting there, the crew would go to lunch and leave him sitting there.
Shooting lasted, for this film, shooting lasted from October 27th to November 25th, 1941, with a December 12th film release. Man, this thing was,
Oh, just in time for Christmas.
it's crazy, huh? They shot it amazing, you know?
I made the movie in 2 months.
I mean, and now you look at some of these films, I mean, some of these, you know, stinkers, they spend like a year on it, you know? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what did you do, you know? Wow.
Well, in the sequel, since he was arguably dead in this movie, they considered him undead in the sequels.
Oh, okay.
So I guess he's sort of a zombie wolf.
You know, it's hard to picture this, but I mean, this film was made during the Second World War. While this film is being made, the Nazis are running through Europe. You know, there's concentration camps. There's the Japanese have bombed Pearl Harbor, and Universal's making a film about a guy who turns into a wolf. You know, and they were worried
I don't
about this.
think that Pearl Harbor had been
Yes.
bombed yet. What year was
Well,
that?
because look, Pearl Harbor was bombed
December
December 7th, and
I
this
know
film was
December 7th, but I don't think 41. I think 42.
1941.
41.
And this film was
was.
released the 12th. So Universal was concerned about this. They said, you know, we don't know if the public's going to want to go see a film like this right after that tragic event. But this film was a big hit immediately.
Well, people needed something else to think about other
Absolutely.
than, which is what movies are supposed to do.
Yeah.
They take you out of your fears, out of your normal daily life, and let you focus on something else for a while.
You know, when the old lady recites the poem about some like horny thing, she does it
Thorn.
3. Oh, it's thorny.
Your life is thorny.
I thought she said horny. Here we go. I mean, let's get into the pros of this film. What do we like about this film? Aaron?
Well, the storyline was good. I don't know if this was the first werewolf movie ever, but it had to have been close to one of the first ones.
1941.
1941, so
I think Werewolf of London came out before it.
okay.
Like 1935 or something.
Well, the storyline was good. It didn't have any gore. It had suggested violence, but you didn't really see much of it. But yet, it was interesting. It was only an hour and 10-minute running time. It was a very short movie,
Wow.
which
really?
is sometimes a good thing.
Wow. Yeah, that is a short running time. What about you, Joel? Is there anything, what were some of the pros for you?
Well, the acting was pretty good. The story was solid. Some of the stuff would probably piss off people today, where he's like looking at the girl through the telescope.
Very interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that definitely wouldn't fly today.
No. The wolf makeup was excellent for back then, and the transformation scene was basically just showing his feet, and then they would get hairy and hairy. They used a lot of where they kind of faded shots into each other, but for the time it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, you know, I think the acting's very good. I love the sets.
Oh,
The
such
sets
a
were
Sets
cool.
and the atmosphere. You know, I mean, it's a film. I mean, how old is this film? 80 years old?
80 years old.
80 years old. So, you know, think about all the violent movies we've seen, the gore and everything. But this movie, I mean, I got to say, it held my interest through the entire viewing. I've never seen this film before, and I'm pushing 50 now. I'm almost at my 50. So, I mean, this was like a big film to watch this for me. I was like, I've never seen this one. This is a bucket list film for me.
Check.
Yeah.
I'd seen part of it.
Okay.
Never saw the end of it.
You know, growing up, reading all these horror fanzines. I mean, I've always seen like the pictures, the iconic photos of Lon Chaney Jr. in the makeup. Probably every scene of him in this film as the Wolfman, I've seen it in a magazine somewhere on a poster. You know,
Yeah.
like every scene that I'm like, oh, I've seen that. You know, and really, I mean, totaling it up, I mean, how much time do you think we actually see him in makeup in the film?
Not very much.
Probably like
5
minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Some one of the surprising things, like some of the the mythology around werewolves we see in other films, aren't present in this film, right?
Yeah.
Like, does it have to be, I guess, a full moon to turn into a werewolf?
No, they never explain how and why he changed. It's just
Yeah, it just changes, right?
I guess it just turned night. So
And why wasn't Bela Lugosi? Why wasn't he a werewolf? Why did he just like show up as a wolf? Right?
Yeah.
that was a con in the plot hole.
They made a mistake with that.
I do, because
Okay.
when Lon Chaney killed him, he said he was clearly a wolf. And I think he even said, I know the difference between a man and a wolf. But then when he became a wolf, he was wearing clothes. And he was walking upright. So he clearly looked like a wolf man.
So
He didn't look
yeah,
like
you
a
bring up a
wolf.
good point, and I guess we should jump into that. The cons of this film.
Well, that was pretty much it. If you like gore, you won't like this.
Yeah.
I'm not that big into gore, so that's actually a plus for me.
The first time he transforms, I thought it was funny because he was sitting in a chair. He's feeling weird. Then he pulled up his pant leg and he sees that his feet are really hairy. It's like, oh no. And so he had stripped down to his undershirt, which was a sleeveless tank top looking thing.
Wife beater.
And
That's probably
and then
not
when you
PC.
see him as the wolf man, he's wearing a long sleeve shirt. But when you see him transform, he hasn't moved. So I guess he decided to put on a shirt. I don't know. That was kind of weird, but
Yeah.
he's wearing the same outfit every time he's the wolf man. You think he has more clothes. But
Yeah, and I get and another weird con. I mean, maybe it's a good thing, and maybe it was like a type of woman I would be looking for. She wasn't completely creeped out that he's like, just a peeping Tom, watching her through the window with the telescope, Yeah, it was like, I mean, she was a little taken back, but it wasn't like a deal breaker. It's like, oh, I'm still. Matter of fact, she found him a little more interesting. She's engaged.
She's engaged.
She's going on,
that's true.
long walks with this guy, holding hands, and
Well, I don't remember them holding.
he's walking around the park with
they
her
were
with
doing
his.
this, but that was very common.
He brings his big cane on the walks. But aside from that, I mean, got to take into consideration this movie is 80 years
It's
old.
80 years old. They didn't have special effects. They didn't have CGI.
The acting makes up for a lot of that. The set pieces, the atmosphere, the lighting, the cinematography.
Yeah, you got to watch this movie when it's dark. You can't have any
Yes,
light on.
absolutely.
If it's a stormy day, even better.
Yeah. I like the story. Like I said, it held my interest. I was never bored. And I guess this film, I mean, it didn't really have anything to reference. I mean, all the modern werewolf films, they have a whole catalog of films to pull from, and looking at the whole mythology. This film, what did it have,
It didn't have much.
Yeah, so
it stands on its own.
Are you kidding me? This movie sucks. It's boring. It's old. It's in black and white. Give me a break. Who the hell squeezed out this turd? Abraham Lincoln? Let's go over the checklist, shall we? The monster checklist.
Over the checklist.
1. There's no blood. 2. There's no graphic gore. 3. There's no throat rippings. 4. There's no flesh eating. And 5. And most importantly, there's no tits. No tits! I mean, come on, Long Dong Chaney. You're in the park with hot, sexy Evelyn Ankers and her big white milk tankers. And all you want to do is fondle your cane and play with your dog. You big fruit! You know if Bela Lugosi had been the Wolfman, he would have ripped Evelyn's shirt off, freed those big puppies, and torn her to shreds! I want to see blood and guts, graphic gore, not some stupid love story between a middle-aged man, his cane, and daddy! We want to see violence!
So, overall rating.
I would say, given the time frame,
1 to 5, 5 being the best.
I'll give it a solid 3.
Wow. Yes! Oh, good. You, John?
3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a solid 3, too. I didn't enjoy it. I still preferred American Werewolf in London.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a better film. And I know people out there are going to say, look, you have to go back to the classics and understand. Well, I'm looking at it through the lens of today, I respect this film. I enjoyed it, viewing it, but, come on. It's not as good as American Werewolf in London or The Howling, I also enjoyed The Howling.
Although I did think that The Howling took its basis for how she became a wolf from this movie.
Oh.
I think that she could have been his granddaughter.
Possibly.
The wolf, it seemed kind of familiar.
Oh, man. So, yeah, there you got it. Yeah, not bad. So if you haven't seen this film, definitely go check it out. 1941, The Wolfman. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. And
the bell for notifications.
Yeah, ring that bell. And that's it. Thank you guys for doing this with me. And be safe, monsters.
Thank you for watching my show. Stay safe and always remember to pet a pup. Goodbye. Oh, shit.